If you're a man over 60 and waking up each morning feeling more like a memory than a force of life, I want you to lean in closely because what I'm about to tell you might surprise you, maybe even unsettle you. It's not your age that's holding you back. It's not time that has dimmed your energy, blurred your focus, or drained your drive. The truth? It may be the fruits you're not eating, Don. Yes, fruits. I know, sounds too simple, too ordinary to matter. But what if hidden in your grocery aisle were 3 humble fruits capable of restoring your circulation, rebooting your hormones, and reigniting your energy at the cellular level? Not pills, not synthetic testosterone, just nature's original medicine, ripe, honest, and healing. I'm Dr. Henry Caldwell, and for over 30 years I've walked beside men who thought their best days were behind them. But time and again, I've watched their vitality return not through miracles, but through elderly wisdom. And today, I want to share that wisdom with you. Let's begin with the first fruit, the one most men walk past without a second thought. It's not exotic, flashy, or marketed as a cure-all. It doesn't come in a shiny bottle or with a celebrity endorsement. But in my practice, it's changed more lives than I can count. The pomegranate, a circulatory lifeline. When Martin, a 72-year-old retired engineer, came into my office, he wasn't in crisis. He was just tired physically, emotionally, spiritually. His words were calm, but his eyes were tired. "Doc," he said, "I'm still here, but I'm not really living anymore." What Martin didn't know was that his body wasn't broken. It was simply underfueled. And what it needed most wasn't another prescription, but blood free-flowing, oxygen-rich blood. That's where the pomegranate comes in. This ancient fruit, long seen as a symbol of life and strength, is now backed by modern science. It's packed with polyphenols compounds that naturally boost nitric oxide levels, allowing your blood vessels to relax and expand. The result? Increased circulation, especially where it matters most for men over 60. In one clinical study, men who drank just 6 ounces of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice daily noticed significant improvements in stamina, mood, and yes, performance in just 2 weeks. But that's not all. Pomegranate also reduces inflammation, shields your arteries from oxidative stress, and supports the prostate, a common concern for aging men. It doesn't just bring back energy. It brings back presence, posture, purpose. Martin started drinking a small glass of pomegranate juice every morning. That was it, no special timing, no complex diet. Within weeks, his sleep deepened, his focus sharpened, and his relationship with his wife, well, let's just say she noticed before I did. You see, when blood flows freely, everything starts working better. Not just your heart, but your confidence. Your ability to move through the day with steadiness and intention. That's healthy aging lifestyle in action. Not a fad, not a formula, but fuel. And here's where elderly wisdom comes into play. We're told to chase youthful energy with expensive supplements and hormone patches. But the truth is, your body knows what to do it. Just needs the right ingredients. Not gimmicks. Just nourishment. Imagine starting each morning with something that strengthens your heart, calms your inflammation, and quietly reawakens the man you used to be, not in a loud, flashy way, but in the kind that lets your wife say, "There you are again." That's the power of fruit. That's the kind of subtle transformation that often matters more than dramatic change. It's how we move toward clutter-free living, not just in our homes, but in our health decisions. Because healing doesn't always come from what you add. Sometimes it comes from what you return to. And the pomegranate is a return to simplicity, to strength, to circulation that carries vitality, where it's needed most. But this is only the beginning, because while blood flow is your foundation, every engine needs fuel to fire. And in part 2, I'll introduce you to the green fruit that can gently and naturally restore the very hormone that defines male vitality and has nothing to do with injections or side effects. If you're still with me, you're not here by accident. You're here because you're ready. Ready to trade frustration for focus. Ready to age on your terms. Let's keep going. If blood flow is the river of life, then hormones are the fire that warms it. And for men over 60, that fire tends to burn. Lower, softer, sometimes fading so slowly you hardly notice until one day you do. You look in the mirror and something's missing. Not just muscle or hair, but something deeper. The drive, the spark. The part of you that used to light up when your feet hit the floor in the morning. I've seen it happen to good men. Strong men. Men like Dennis. Dennis was 68 when he first came to me. Sharp mind, kind smile. But something in his voice cracked when he said, "Doc, I feel like I'm slowly disappearing." And he wasn't alone. Many men over 60 begin to feel invisible, not just to others, but to themselves. That's not weakness. That's biology. More specifically, it's low testosterone. But here's the truth the world rarely says out loud. You don't need to inject your way back to feeling like a man. There's a better, quieter path. One that begins not in a clinic, but in your kitchen. It begins with avocado. Yes-avocado. That simple, green fruit often dismissed as trendy or millennial. In reality, it may be one of the most underrated tools. In healthy aging lifestyle, especially for men, avocados are loaded with monounsaturated fats, the kind your body needs to naturally support healthy testosterone levels. They're also rich in magnesium and zinc, two minerals critical to hormonal balance. But perhaps most importantly, they carry vitamin B6, a quiet hero that reduces cortisol, your body's stress hormone, and clears the path for testosterone to rise again. Dennis didn't change everything. He just added half an avocado each morning sliced onto toast, blended into a smoothie, or simply with a spoon and some sea salt. Within days, something shifted. His energy was no longer sluggish. His thoughts were sharper. His mood was steadier. The heaviness he'd carried, the fog, the fatigue, it began to lift. That's not coincidence. That's chemistry. And here's where elderly wisdom guides us again. Aging isn't the problem. It's the refusal to adjust. As men grow older, our biology evolves. But instead of fighting it with artificial quick fixes, what if we nourished it softly, steadily, intentionally? What if downsizing tips for seniors applied not just to the clutter in our garages, but the clutter in our blood? The processed foods, the shortcuts, the energy drinks promising life but stealing it in the long run. Avocado is the opposite of that. It's grounding. It's natural. It gives without taking dot, and in doing so, it helps bring you back to yourself. Not the version of you chasing youth, but the version who shows up strong, steady, and whole. I tell men often, you don't need to feel 25 again. You just need to feel like yourself again. And that starts when your hormones begin to remember their rhythm. Not rushed, not forced, but restored. Avocados also contain potassium, which supports heart health and helps manage blood pressure, an often overlooked piece of the performance puzzle. After all, your heart isn't just a muscle, it's the engine. And when it's nourished, well, the whole system flows better. This is what I love most about using food as medicine. There are no side effects, no disclaimers in small print, just daily choices that align with the rhythm of your biology. This is the heart of clutter-free living, when what you put into your body clears the path rather than complicates it. And if you're a man who values clear thinking, strong presence, and intimate connection, not just with your partner, but with yourself, then avocado is no longer optional. It's essential. Dennis came back 3 weeks later, not just with more energy, but with more conviction. He said, "Doc, I don't feel lost anymore. I feel found." That's the power of alignment, when blood, hormones, and mindset begin to move in the same direction. That's elderly wisdom in its purest form. But even when blood is flowing and hormones are balanced, there's still one more piece missing: energy. Not the jittery kind, but the deep, sustained current that gets you through the day with clarity and calm. And that, my friend, is where the next fruit comes in. You probably already have it in your kitchen. It's common, unassuming, and more powerful than you think. In part 3, I'll tell you about the yellow fruit that protects your arteries, balances your mood, and gives your body the steady energy it's been missing. Keep listening. You're not just learning facts. You're remembering your power. Energy is not just about motion. It's about meaning. It's the feeling of waking up and knowing you have something to give. The ability to walk across the room without aching. To think clearly, speak confidently, and stay steady even when the world feels fast. And for many men after 60, that kind of energy doesn't just fade. It vanishes, quietly, slowly, until one day you realize you're running on fumes. But what if the answer wasn't in caffeine or supplements, but in a fruit so simple you've probably overlooked it for decades? Let's talk about bananas. I know what you might be thinking. Bananas, really? Yes, really. When Mark, a 73-year-old former school principal, sat down in my office, he looked tired in a way that sleep couldn't fix. "Doc," he said, "I'm not sad. I'm just drained. Even when I wake up, I feel like I've already lost the day." That wasn't depression. That was depletion. And for men like Mark, and maybe like you, elderly wisdom reminds us that the answer is often less complicated than we make it. Is breakfast? A quick cup of coffee, if anything. No real fuel, no rhythm, no spark. So, we made a simple change. One banana. Every morning. Paired with a spoon of natural peanut butter and a glass of water. That was it. Bananas are more than just convenient snacks. They're loaded with potassium, magnesium, and vitamin B6, a trio that supports muscle function, relaxes blood vessels, and helps your cells generate stable, steady energy from the inside out. That's not hype. That's biology in its natural rhythm. Potassium protects your arteries, helps regulate blood pressure, and enhances circulation, just like pomegranate. Magnesium calms the nervous system, helping you sleep deeper and think clearer. Vitamin B6 supports your brain and balances your mood by helping your body produce serotonin, that quiet chemical that helps you feel grounded and okay. But here's what makes bananas truly powerful. They're predictable. When energy flows in a steady current, no crashes, no jitters. You start to feel safe in your body again. You're not just reacting to the day. You're meeting it, standing tall. After 1 week, Mark told me, "I don't just feel better. I feel steadier." And for men entering the season of life where unpredictability creeps in, from health scares to changing roles at home, that steadiness is priceless. It's the kind of security that fuels not only your body but your connection to those around you. This is also why banana is a beautiful fit for senior home safety routines and healthy aging lifestyle habits. It doesn't need to be cooked. It doesn't require a recipe. You can eat it at home, in the car, or while sitting quietly on your porch. It asks for nothing and gives so much in return. If you've been searching for a way to feel more present in your mornings, to avoid that mid-morning crash, or to simply give your brain and heart the minerals they crave, start here. One banana. Every day. No guesswork. No noise. Just nature working for you. And when you begin to experience that return of natural energy, when your hands stop shaking, your memory sharpens, and your walks feel lighter, you'll realize that energy doesn't have to come in a bottle. It can come from your fruit bowl. This is what decluttered, regret-free looks like. Not just letting go of things in your home, but letting go of habits that no longer serve you. replacing complexity with clarity, chaos with calm. Because when you feel strong again, your relationships shift. Your words have weight. Your partner sees the version of you that smiles more. And you see him two dots, so now we've talked about pomegranate for circulation, avocado for hormones, and banana for energy. But what happens when you bring them together? Not randomly, but with rhythm. In part 4, I'll show you how these three fruits form a triangle of healing that activates something far greater than the sum of its parts. You'll learn how to build a daily routine that fuels your body like it was always meant to be fueled. You're not chasing youth, you're reclaiming power. And the road there is simpler and sweeter than you think. There's something almost magical that happens when we stop treating our bodies like they're broken and start feeding them like they're healing. Not with noise, not with gimmicks, but with rhythm. With steady, natural nourishment that speaks to the body like an old friend it forgot it had dot by now. You've met the three fruits, pomegranate, avocado, and banana, and seen how each one works alone. One boosts circulation, another restores testosterone, the third ignites energy. But let me tell you something that many overlook. When you combine them, something more powerful begins to unfold. Not in a flash, not in a week, but in a quiet transformation that builds slowly, deeply, and unmistakably. I call it the triangle of strength, blood, hormones, and energy. Together, they form the foundation of male vitality after 60. And when they work in harmony, your body doesn't just feel better. It remembers who it's always been meant to be. Let me tell you about Richard. He was 69 when he came to me. A former mechanic, a widower, and someone who'd given more than he ever asked for. He wasn't sick. He wasn't broken. But he felt off, disconnected. Like the man he used to be had gotten lost somewhere between retirement and routine. We didn't start with a diet plan. No gym schedule. No prescriptions done. We started with 3 fruits every morning. Richard drank a glass of pure pomegranate juice. Midday, he added half an avocado to his lunch. And in the morning, or before a walk, he grabbed a banana. That was all. Within a month, Richard told me something I'll never forget. "Doc, I didn't just feel better, I felt back." That's the secret. These fruits don't add something artificial. They unlock something familiar. Something buried beneath years of processed foods, skipped meals, and the quiet belief that the decline is inevitable. This is what elderly wisdom truly means, not giving up, but leaning in. Returning to what the body understands. Whole foods, slow mornings, consistent rituals. And those rituals, they anchor us. Just like senior decluttering rules help us let go of excess in our homes, these fruits help us clear the internal clutter. Inflammation, the instability, the fatigue that builds silently as we age. The beauty is, it doesn't take much. You don't need a chef. You don't need to read another book or sign up for a program. You just need to make 3 simple choices and do them daily. Why does this matter? Because the male body after 60 is still capable of strength, still worthy of energy, still deserving of connection. But it won't come from chasing youth. It comes from aligning with what your biology actually needs. It comes from daily choices that compound quietly. Better blood flow means better intimacy. Balanced hormones means steadier mood and focus. Clean energy means clearer presence with your loved ones. And that presence, that grounded, confident presence, it's not a luxury. It's a responsibility for your partner, for your family, for yourself. Not too often, men are told to push through fatigue, to be tough, even when they're running on empty. But strength after 60 isn't about pushing, it's about alignment. When your circulation flows freely, when your testosterone rises naturally, and when your energy stabilizes, you don't have to force anything. Your body starts working for you, not against you. That's the goal. Not to be 25 again, but to be fully, unapologetically alive right where you are. And here's something powerful. This routine, these fruits, don't just help the body. They awaken the mind. They remind you that change is still possible, that new seasons of vitality are still within reach, and that your story doesn't end just because the calendar moved forward. This is more than just nutrition. It's reclaiming agency. It's writing a new chapter, not in desperation, but in quiet power. So if you've made it this far, you're not just listening. You're remembering. You're stepping back into the man who leads not by force, but by presence, who chooses wholeness over hurry, rhythm over rush. And in part 5, I'll show you exactly how to build this simple plan into your mornings without stress, without guesswork, so you can start seeing results not someday, but now. Stay with me, because what's coming next could become the turning point you didn't even know you were waiting for. There's a moment, just after dawn, when the world is quiet and everything feels possible. No traffic, no noise, just a gentle stillness that asks one question. What kind of man do you want to be today? If you're over 60 and you felt the weight of time pressing on your shoulders, know this. That quiet morning is still yours. The strength you thought was slipping away, it's not gone. It's just waiting. Waiting for you to feed it, to honor it, to believe in it again. I've spent more than 3 decades watching men reclaim their vitality, not with radical plans or dramatic overhauls, but with small, powerful habits built into their daily lives. The kind of healthy aging lifestyle that works not because it's loud, but because it's true. And this is the moment where it all comes together. Here's the simple, clear morning plan I give to my patients, one that aligns with their biology, their rhythm, and their purpose. No overwhelm, just nourishment. 1. Start with hydration. Before coffee, before breakfast, drink a tall glass of water. Your cells are dehydrated after sleep. Give them what they need to function clearly. If you want to go one step further, squeeze in a bit of lemon for added circulation support. 2. Drink 6 ounces of pure pomegranate juice. Make sure it's unsweetened and real. This is your circulation boost. It starts your arteries moving, sends oxygen to your muscles, and awakens the very systems that fuel confidence and connection. 3. Prepare half an avocado. Whether you eat it with eggs, mash it on toast, or blend it into a smoothie, this is your hormone stabilizer. Your testosterone won't roar back like it did in your 20s, but it will rise gently, giving you steady strength and quiet assurance throughout the day. 4. Add a banana. Simple, sweet, effective. It's your energy igniter. Bananas support your brain, your heart, and your muscles. Paired with a small spoon of natural peanut butter, they provide both fuel and balance. No crash, no fog. And that's it. 4 steps. One morning, less than 10 minutes. But what unfolds from that 10 minutes? That's where the real transformation begins. Because this kind of consistency builds momentum. It grounds you. Just like following senior decluttering rules simplifies your home, this ritual simplifies your health. It replaces confusion with clarity. And that clarity becomes strength, not just in your body, but in your identity. You start showing up more fully. In conversations, in relationships, in moments that used to slip by unnoticed. And here's what I love most: this plan is accessible. You don't need to be wealthy. You don't need to join a program. You don't even need to leave your house. You just need to decide. Decide to begin. Because the longer I do this work, the more I realize aging doesn't break a man. Giving up does. You are not too old to change. Not too far gone to feel good again. And certainly not too late to love the man you see in the mirror. I've guided men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, men who thought their time had passed. But once they started giving their bodies what they needed, something beautiful happened. Their energy returned. Their voice lifted. Their partners noticed. Their posture changed, not just physically, but emotionally. That's what this is all about. Not reversing time, but rising in it. Not chasing youth, but embracing strength. Not fixing what's broken, but unlocking what's been waiting. This is elderly wisdom at its core. It says, I don't need to prove anything. I just need to live aligned with food, with purpose, with belief. So if this message stirred something in you, if a part of you whispered, maybe it's not too late, I hope you listen, because the body wants to heal. The mind wants to focus. The heart wants to love. All it needs is your yes. Say yes to the fruits. Say yes to the rhythm. Say yes to the man you still are. And if this video helped you in any way, I invite you to join us. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss another message crafted with your health, your dignity, and your future in mind. Share it with a friend, a brother, a father, someone who may need this reminder just as much as you did. Because this isn't the end of your story. It's the first sentence of your next chapter. And I can't wait to see who you become next.